Hi, I'm Chris Dickey, and I teach tuba and euphonium at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. This ITEA power lesson focuses on time management, a skill that all of us, regardless of who we are, could take a moment to think about. So I see something all the time in my students. They are running around doing classes, practicing, rehearsals, homework, marching band, and 1,000,001 other things. So knowing everyone has the same 24 hours in a day means we can prioritize how we use our time so that we accomplish both those short-term goals and long-term goals. So today I want to give you some strategies that might help you. Some you may already be doing, which is excellent, but others could be new, and I encourage you to give them a try. Number one, schedule your practice time as if it were a class. This really works for people who think, oh, I'll fit in my practicing at some point today. Well, this little thing called life gets in the way, and then suddenly you've gone a whole day, a week, or whatever the interval of time may be, without practicing and making progress on your instrument. Scheduling your practice times can make you more accountable. By that I mean, just as you know that, let's say, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 9, you're supposed to be in a theory class. It could work the same, knowing that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to noon, you're supposed to be in the practice room. Number two, try this out. Try scheduling everything, including classes, practice sessions, eating, homework time, rehearsals, socializing. Whatever takes up your time in the day, put it into a schedule. This is helpful because it will show you just where your time goes during the day, from the time that you get up to the time that you go to sleep. You'll see that some days might be more jam-packed than others. Some days might be lighter, but you'll make the appropriate adjustments to your practice routine or study routine, whatever it may be, based on that information. But you have to have that information first. Three, learn what time of day you're actually productive. If you're a morning person like me, practicing and homework might be best done and accomplished with high degrees of productivity in the morning hours. But not everyone's a morning person. If you're more of a nocturnal person, a night owl, you can probably plan on doing more work in the evening hours. And I remember thinking about this when I was doing my undergrad. For one reason or another, I would try to do this practicing in the evening. And the problem with that is that after a certain point of the day, my brain just turns to mush. I'm finished. I need to shut down. But I would go to these practice sessions and I always feel so frustrated and defeated. Well, I know now that I'm more of a morning person, so making this conscious effort to switch up my routine so that I can schedule more in the morning helps me accomplish more. Number four, be honest. This is critical. Be honest. We live in a day when it's really easy to adopt the rationale, well, I'm busy. The issue is that everyone has things going on. We just have to figure out how to use our time most effectively for productivity. For example, if you find yourself not finding the time to practice or study, you might need to change your thinking and instead adopt the way of thinking that I like. It's making the time for it. So examine that schedule that I strongly encourage you to create, and you might see that you actually have larger breaks in your schedule than you anticipate, more time off. You might be hanging out longer in the student lounge than is necessary, right? For example, being honest will help you prioritize your time. The other benefit is that when you're really honest, you might realize what certain things might have to be sacrificed. Less time watching Netflix, more time for practicing, less time for lunch, take a lunch break, but it doesn't have to be 2 hours long. Instead, you could use more of that time that you've shortened lunch break. You can use more of that time for practicing or studying, whatever it may be. Number five, make lists. I'm a big list person, and it helps me track not only what I need to do, but then I can also from there decide how and when it can be done. Ask yourself some questions, though, to follow up with your list making. Number one, what has to be done now? What is today's priority? These might be things like tomorrow's homework that's due, practicing, studying, listening to music, paying rent because it's due, adult stuff, life stuff, right? Then you could ask as a little follow-up, what could be postponed until tomorrow, the day after, or next week? This category could be different for everyone, depending on who you are, but it often involves making distinctions between those time-sensitive items that I just talked about, and then maybe things that really won't suffer in quality if you just get to them later. All right, creating a list will help you see what you prioritize and accomplish. There's this great sense of pride that comes with finishing a to-do list, whether it's a big one or a small one. Give yourself that opportunity to feel that sensation, and you might be surprised with how good it feels. And number 6, this is a really important category: food, sleep, and friends. Burning a candle on both ends or running a mile a minute can only go on for so long. You have to make the time for proper meals and sleep. Okay? Sometimes I notice people put food time and sleeping on the chopping block. They think those are the first items that can go when it comes to carving out that schedule that I recommend. The body has needs, though, and they won't go away. You won't be fully functional unless you have adequate nutrition and rest. So if you try honestly analyzing your time by creating that schedule, fit in a proper amount of time for food and rest, you'll be amazed at how physically good you feel. And if you physically feel good, you could be more productive down the road. And the last little bit is, do make time for friends, right? We're collaborative by nature. We want to be around people. Fitting in time to socialize with friends will help you, recharge your batteries of sorts. And it will help you get your mind where it needs to be for tackling the next day's items or the next week's items. So I hope something from this power lesson works for you. I know everyone's different, and they respond to work in a variety of ways. But what's important is for us to take a good look at how we function, when we function our best, and then use that knowledge to our benefit so that we are productive in those 24 hours that we have in each day. So on behalf of ITEA Power Lessons, I'm Chris Dickey, and thank you for your time.